What's up, everybody? You already know how it go. It's your boy B back with another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, man, make sure you guys like, comment, and of course subscribe. My name is Brandon Jones and I specialize helping you making extra income. And today we're going to be talking about phone flipping, and I'm going to be actually giving you guys some advice. And this is some advice I would give to my friend. And I've also composed a few questions that I got off of Discord as well that I have pulled up on my monitor. Because phone flipping it's something a lot of people are doing, but doing it quietly, and that's exactly how it should be. A lot of people have questions about it though, and a lot of people have concerns, and a lot of people don't know exactly where to go to get these questions answered because there's so many people. There's so many people acting like they have the answers to everything, especially when it comes to phone flipping. There's also people acting like they know the remedy when they don't, right? Like, it's a case by case. So everything that I'm saying is not just on my in my perspective, but also from people that I've trained to have the art of negotiation, people that I've mentored to be able to go out and get phones. And I really want you guys to gain the concept of how important it is to not only believe in yourself, but also if this is something that you want to do, never take no as an answer. So before I start getting into that, I want you guys to go and subscribe to my phone. My channels, okay? I have a few channels that I have launched. I have Hustlertaughtme, which is my channel where I teach you everything: how to phone flip, how to product resale, how to get products wholesale. I also have my channel, Educated Hustler. This is where you're going to see the back end of everything that I've been working on. You're going to see my life. You're going to see my daily vlog. You're going to see some tips and tricks as well. But it's just like the back office of everything I go through in general. And then, of course, Educated Hustler Live. That is my live streaming. I game on that channel, react on that channel. Just things that I actually enjoy doing. Creating that type of content as well. So go over there. That is a fairly new channel. And also, of course, follow me on Instagram. My personal is educated__hustler. And my business is Hustlertaughtme. You can reach me on Hustlertaughtme way easier. And then last but not least, go click that link down below to join the Discord. We are at 423 subscribers on Discord. I want to get it up to 1,000 by the end of the year. So definitely help me do that. Now, when it comes to the biggest question that I get on a daily basis is, what is flipping phones? And flipping phones, honestly, is just literally buying low, selling high, okay? And the way that you flip phones is not by going on platforms where people sell phones and just gauging the price off of that, because people are always going to buy and sell based on their perspectives or based on their connections, and you don't have the same connections as that person, right? You may have a whole different connection other than the one that the other person has, right? So it's like you have to be smart enough to understand there's always going to be different pricing for different folks, and you may have a different pricing. The pricing that you have may not be the same way that I have, or the profit that you may get may not be the same as the profit that I may get. But there's always people that are trying to base the prices off of the phones that they buy or the phones that they're going to buy or sell off of another individual. So what I recommend doing is getting a price list from a wholesale buyer or a range of wholesale buyers and finding the median, because wholesale buyers usually offer and work on market value. They don't usually work on prices from eBay or prices from MERCARI or OfferUp. No, they actually set the temperature regardless. So if you think about it, who sets the prices for phones? Like, how do phones get the prices? First, you got Apple, then you got the buyer, okay? And the buyer is the person that buys the phones from Apple. So if you don't know, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, Xfinity, Spectrum, whatever you have, right? They don't buy iPhones from Apple. Apple gives them the phones, and Apple has like an account with them, and they don't make money off of selling iPhones. They make money off of selling service. They work hand in hand. But who buys iPhones? Yes, the consumer but also wholesale buyers. That is the reason. You have consumers, you got wholesale buyers. Wholesale buyers sell to consumers just like consumers just consume the product. So who do you want to gauge or try to get the price from? From a consumer that is just using for a purpose, or do you want to get the price from a wholesale buyer who is selling to consumers? So that's the way to think of it. I think that's the best way. Another thing that I would say, because I'm not going to do all of these questions, is what factors affect reselling values on phones? So age, so the year, the different features. Prime example, the iPhone 14 is eSIM. iPhone 13 has a regular SIM. That's a really big feature. That's why the iPhone 13 Pro Max stayed so relevant for so long, because it had the capability, or it has the capability of you saying, hey, Brandon, I got T-Mobile just like you. Me saying, cool, I got an iPhone 13 for sale, but it's not paid off and I know it, right? But I can still sell it to you, and you can still use T-Mobile and plug your card right in. No, you don't have to go to any store to put the eSIM on your account. You don't have to do any of that. Like, those type of features matter, and that's how prices are constructed. Also, features like this. The iPhone 14 Plus is one of the worst phones to sell internationally. Why? Because nobody wants it. Why? Because it's a 14 and a bigger model, but it costs a little bit more money, and it's no point. Because if I want a bigger model, I'm going to go big or go home, and I'm going to go get an iPhone 14 Pro Max. You get what I'm saying? So the 14 Plus model is like, why the heck did they invent it? Why did they bring it out? Right? It's just a finesse, to be honest. So those type of features in the phone flipping industry are some of them are the reason prices are what they are. Okay, how do I negotiate prices when buying phones? So the way you would negotiate prices when buying phones, honestly, is simple. You need to have your price list. You deduct exactly what you want to make from the price that you see on the price list. And then you go and you make the offer, but you say $20 less. So let's give an example. If I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and again, these are all examples. I sell a phone flipping price list on my website, Hustlertaughtme.com. But you can also get a free price list somewhere out there as well. My price list costs money because I have 25 in the country buyers and 25 out of the country buyers. I put them all on one list, and you have them bidding for your device. It's a really cool concept. Definitely check it out, Hustlertaughtme.com. But if we have an iPhone 15 Pro Max for $500 on a price list, I know for a fact that, okay, the least I'm going to get is $500. So I can say, you know what? I want to make a $50 profit. So I can say, okay, what I'll do is I will not go over $450 because I want to make $500. So I can say, okay, $450 is my ceiling. That's not what I'm not going over. I mean, I'm not going under it, right? The price has to meet it or go above it. So then you say you go on to offer up, and you're like, okay, $450. I'm not taking anything. I'm not going to pay anything more. Excuse me. Now, when you say you're not paying anything more, that means I ain't paying $460. I'm not paying $470. $450, that's my ceiling. So then when you're going on these apps, you might think to yourself too, I want to have more leverage. So you'll say, okay, instead of just saying $450 is my ceiling, I'll deduct another $50 just so I can have negotiated room. So I'm going to come in on every iPhone 15 Pro Max for $400. Knowing that that might not be enough and I need to negotiate all the way up to $450, it makes at least the person that's selling the phone feel like they won at some point. And that is the purpose of pricing that way. And that's a free tip, a free jewel, okay? Because a lot of people don't know how to negotiate. I talk on Educated Hustler, my YouTube channel, a lot about negotiating. A lot of phone flippers that are flipping nowadays don't even touch on that, and they just take what they can get. I ain't that. I don't take what I can get. I take what I want. So if I want something, I'm gonna negotiate hard for it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just sit there and Oh, well, what's the lowest you'll do? You know what I mean? No. All right. How do I properly inspect an iPhone before purchasing? So you want to look at the IMEI, okay? The IMEI, now, yes, they have serial numbers. They have two IMEIs. But the IMEI, the reason I like to reference that is because a lot of people, they understand what that is at some point, right? Because we've all been told something about an IMEI before. If you're buying it, you saw them scanning the IMEI, like the IMEI is uniform, right? And when you are getting a device, the first thing you want to do before you even meet up with somebody is you want to find out what that IMEI is, because you want to know exactly what that phone is. You want to know if it's exactly what they say. I'm not even talking physical. We're not worried about the physical yet, because see, the physical isn't the dangerous part. The dangerous part is going to be the stuff you can't see. So that's why the IMEI is one of the most important parts, and you want to make sure that you are checking that IMEI. And when you do that and everything checks out, the next thing I would say is to make sure that you're checking the physical, right? We have grade A, grade A plus, grade B plus, grade B, grade C, grade D, okay? So grade D is gonna be a phone that's completely destroyed. It got shattered back, shattered front. It looked like it was run over by a truck. Ain't gonna be worth that much money. Then you got grade C, and grade C is going to be a phone with really, really heavy scratches, cracks on the back or either the front. Then you got grade B, which is going to be light scratches, light cracks, not cracks, light scratches, okay? I say light, but it's like heavy in some people's sense. Heavy scratches, but no cracks. Grade B plus, that's when you have a phone that looks almost perfect, but it doesn't have a box. Grade A plus is going to be a phone that has a box and it looks perfect, okay? Now, I don't really deal with A grade. I don't believe in A grade, or an A grade can be the A plus grade. Everybody's like structure and the way they talk about the structure is a bit different. But for me, that's like how I learned. That's how the buyers talk to me. So that's sort of kind of the structure that I have, okay? What are the best practices shipping phones? So I rarely ever ship phones. I get people to ship me phones. I get about 2,500 phones every single week from you guys that are using the price list. And I see a lot of people shipping phones great, right? A lot of people understand, one, you want to make sure that you have a box that's bigger than the phone, of course, but you also want to make sure it's discreet. So sometimes I'll get a box. If I am shipping to a store or something, I'll get a big box, right? And it would just be a whole bunch of papers and stuff in it, in cardboard boxes. And then inside is the phone. Now, you don't want people to know it's a phone. They're going to take it, right? That's what like Assurant and all of them. I don't know why they ship those boxes when you know it's a phone, right? There's so many people out here stealing, so many people out here desperate. So they're going to try and see what's in packages. That's the way I think of it, right? Now, it may not be true. They may not actually do it. But in my opinion, if you're going to ship a phone, make sure you're shipping that phone in a big box. Make sure you got bubble wrap and all of that, okay? Now, how do I handle disputes with buyers? This one I wanted to save towards this part of the video, because this is one of the biggest and hardest questions to ask, because sometimes you got to cut the bridge or burn the bridge, excuse me. Because see, I've had issues like this before, and when it comes to buyers and disputes, you really don't usually have them unless you're a high volume. And once you're high volume, you're going to make either you making mistakes, your store gonna make mistakes, or people that you're buying from gonna make mistakes. I had somebody that sold me a whole bunch of sealed phones that were iPhone 15 Pro Maxes, but they were fake. I looked at the IMEI myself, verified it because my employees brought it. I verified it. Again, sealed is worth like $150 more than open. So we weren't opening them, but we did check the IMEI. And this is when we just were being hit with this scam. And I remember shipping them to, who brought it? Malaysia, I believe, shipping it to Malaysia. And maybe a month later, they sent me a picture saying, hey, these phones aren't real. And I'm like, well, find time to tell me. Like, I done lost connection with the person. And it's like, what do you want me to do about it? Because you guys brought it after inspecting it just like me. They looked at me, they felt the phone, weighed the phone, everything was perfect. But inside, there was just a phone with the Android software. So, long story short, they were like, we want our $40,000 back. That $40,000 is in products and other stuff now. And I don't return money. I don't return money from any buyer. Because buyers, I've been in positions where I brought phones from customers and they were like, oh my God, I had this in it and this in it and I need it back, please. And I asked for it back and they never give it back. So in my opinion, I don't give phones back. I don't take phones back because buyers don't do it when it's convenient for them. So the way I operate business is, don't think that I'm going to just do things for you and you're not going to do things for me. Okay. And I've seen that experience. So if you have problems with buyers and it's disputes, make sure that you're treating them just how they're treating you. Don't treat them no different. And don't ever be desperate for buyers, because if you're desperate, they're going to run all over you every single time. All right. Is it illegal to flip phones? It is completely legal to flip phones. I never got in trouble flipping phones. Now, if you got a trunk full of 85 iPhone 11s to 15s, yeah, the cops are gonna, think that you're like robbing AT&T or T-Mobile. You need to make sure you have invoices. I make sure I have invoices. This is not a joke to me. So every time I buy a phone, I get my invoice. They sign off on that, John, and then we good. So everything is a transaction for me, and it should be for you. Don't just do it like you're buying socks or you're buying a crib for your son or something like that, and you just, like at a flea market. Like, don't do that. Take this serious. Use it like it is. Well, utilize it like it's a business, because it is. Okay. What are the seasonal trends? So September, it's very slow because the new iPhone is about to come. Well, until September, from January to like September, it's very slow because you got a new iPhone about to come out. A lot of people are on hold. They're trying to wait, trying to stack their bread. And then when a new iPhone does come out, it's crappy because you got people that are just trying to push the 15s, the 16s, and everybody forget about the most valuable phones, which are the lower phones. Because see, here's the thing. The higher the phone you buy, it doesn't dictate the profit you make. It's not like if I buy an iPhone 15 that I'm going to make more than $50 profit just because it's 15. That's not how that works. But for the iPhone 13, I can still get $50 profit too and spend less. So it's all about understanding that profit margins don't really go off of phone values. You know what I mean? Like the phone model, shall I say. So that's very important for you to remember. Like, it's important to remember that no matter the phone you got, no matter the phone you want to buy, the profit can be the same. All right, guys. So that's going to be all of the advice that I'm going to give for right now. I might do more of these videos. Let me know if you guys like these videos. If I'm just rambling and answering random questions I see in my DM. And also just giving backstories behind those answers, okay? Let me know if you guys like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey.